check. If you spend a ton of money, they'll send me a check to come get you.
The team decides to put Palladino under surveillance to see what else he may be up to.
We're still trying to figure out what was involved, what actually were they doing, and who were they doing it with.
My guess is that they lost power. They were below the Brooklyn Bridge. They were docked at the South Street Seaport. They were going for a sunset cruise, and they left the South Street, and they lost engine power for whatever reason, and then the current brought them backwards into the bridge.
We know that the Trump administration has been meddling in U.S. Coast Guard operations, from staffing to command and comms, and I have the general sense of a Doge dysfunction in parts of the Coast Guard. To put it mildly, after being fully briefed on last night's Brooklyn Bridge accident, one thing is very clear. There are many more questions than answers as to how the accident occurred and whether it could have been prevented.
Again, prudent would have been, hey, leave 2 hours earlier, come out in the slack, or when the tide is going out. That would have been obviously the ideal time to do. But again, I don't think they ever envisioned the idea that their engine would have been, engaged and propel them into the bridge like it did. So you had a series of worst case scenarios here. You had wind setting, you had about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and you could see that from the Mexican flag that was on the stern. You could see how it was setting in. Even without the sail set, she has a big sail area. So, those masts and rigging is going to catch a lot. You had the tide bringing you in, and then you had your engine kick in. And obviously, by the time they started realizing probably what was happening, they couldn't disengage the engine fast enough to get it off. You don't want to call the crew out of the mast because that would involve them unhooking. The thing that saved all those crew members up in the mast where they were hooked in. So, yeah, we had 2 die and a lot injured. But if they were scrambling down the rat lines, that would have been worse because they would have came tumbling out of there. And that would have been a horrific moment there.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美丽。美吧。